Obviously these wheels aren't independent to one another, they're connected by something that controls them steering. That's what we call a tie rod, and it's probably easy to see on the other side there. See how it comes out underneath there, that part just there, my finger's on?
Yep.
That silver part? Okay, that's connected to a bit of thread or a rod that runs the entire length underneath the seat, across to the other side, and comes out over here on this one. Alright, so that's one rod that runs all the way across. The length of that influences whether the wheels stay pointing the same direction, if they toe in on each other, or if they push out. We want them to run parallel, otherwise then, if they're pointing at each other, then it's like riding with a brake on. You're going to scrub your tyres out and it's just going to slow you down. So you want them running nice and parallel. That rod can be adjusted in its length by taking these off and screwing them in or out. So that there, obviously it's attached to this part here, so it's attached to our arms there somehow. If I feel underneath, yep, there's a nice nut underneath. We can undo that, and that would drop that end off, and we could adjust it, lengthen it or shorten it if we needed to. There's a nut underneath there. Okay, so you could take that off if you needed to. But we need to work out if we actually need to or not, and that's where your measuring tape comes into it. Yep, so you're going to go read the instructions, and I'll tell you where you need to measure.
Yeah, ensure that the wheels are pointing straight as much as you can by eye. Measure the distance between the 2 points on the front of the front wheels, ensuring the measure is flat. Find a point at the same height at the back and front wheels and measure the distance.
Across the front of the wheels?
Yep.
So you've got a bit to contend with in there, Dane?
Yep.
You probably want to be trying to aim to come from down... Sorry, Miss Hendrickson. From down sort of there, if you can.
Underneath the bar?
Yeah, so yeah, you're going to have to try and find an unobstructed way through there that you can actually measure it. Yep, so keep pulling it there. Yep, all the way across.
Can anyone read that?
Now, you want it roughly at the same height, so at the moment your right hand is much higher than your left hand.
So drop your right hand. A little bit more. A little bit more.
Yeah, cool.
Can
So
anyone
you're
read
looking
that?
there at about 6, you on the middle or the inside on this? Just lift up your fingers so that I can see. You're on the outside? Okay, so measure to the outside over there, Aiden. What's he running?
596.
Okay, so 696. Cool.
And then find a point at the same height at the back of the front wheel and measure the distance.
This one's obviously going to get harder because you've got the seat there to continue everyone's.
How much does it need to be out by for it to be fully necessary to change it?
I'd probably say 4 or 5.
Right?
Yep.
Do you want to hold that?
Height-wise, do you reckon that's... pretty even?
Can someone at the front tell us if that's even?
Oh, if it's running across...
Your right hand needs to go up a little bit. More than that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can let it go.
So the distance should be the same. This means they are running in 2 parallel lines and not trying to drive at one another.
No. So
What did it say on the other
it
side?
needs to. There's 96 on the other side.
What was that one?
97.
No, wait, what was that one? Did you say? I thought it
Had
Yeah.
like 700 on it.
so we need to.
Is the gap
What was the gap between there?
96 on the front and 97 on the back.
So we need to shorten that thing.
if the gap at the back is larger, then the tie rod needs to be shortened by taking one end of the rod off the pins, loosening lock nut, and then screwing the rose joints in.
So was that the one that he said that you take off? Yeah.
And you know what you're doing there.
No. Probably just as much as you know do.
Was Spanish.
Was that the one underneath?